Okay everyone, welcome back to Angler Calm. Now today I'm going to do my first tutorial video, and I want to do more of these to sort of help more people out who are new getting into angling, or maybe you've just started out. And in today's video I'm going to show you how to fish the method feeder. Now this tactic can be absolutely deadly. We are at Ledger Lakes today and it is an absolute beautiful day. Now most of the carp are on the surface, which is not ideal, but we're going to play with the cards we're dealt with. I've done a bit of moving around. I'm going to do an easy step-by-step guide on how to fish this. If this does help you in any way, get subscribed to my channel. It's free of charge, doesn't cost you a penny. Share this video around and post your comments down below. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the actual method feeder. For me, I like the Drennan ones because they come with everything you need to get started. They come with the mould, they come with the little bead inside, and they're very versatile and easy to use. So first of all, this little mould will help basically mould the pellets around the feeder, so you don't need that yet. To start off with, your main line, you'll slide this little rubber down the main line first, and all that does is neaten everything up. It keeps everything nice and neat. Then what you want to do is slide your method feeder up the line. After you've done that, you're going to make a figure of 8 loop knot. You can use an overhand loop knot, but I just prefer the figure of 8 loop knot. I think it's stronger, I think it's better. So you do a little figure of 8 knot, and then with the little beads you've sort of got this like rubber thing that goes around each end to stop the hook length and the line coming off. And the reason why I said at the start I prefer the Drennan method feeder ones is because these beads are really easy to do, you know, to put the feeder on the line and then put your hook length on. So once you've slid the rubber on and the method feeder and done your figure of 8 knot, then you can lasso that over the notch and pull the rubber back till it reveals the other notch for your hook length. And as well, if you're just starting out, maybe you've been fishing a while, a lot of people prefer pre-done hook lengths. I myself get a bit lazy and I do prefer pre-done hook lengths. So I always go for the Guru QM1 hook and banded. I just find banded is again very versatile. You can band wafters, you can band anything with it, pellets. It's very versatile, and I find for beginners it's a lot more beginner friendly than what a bayonet is. Again, some people will agree with that, some people may disagree, but I find the band works perfect for me. And then all you need is a little bander tool, and then you just open that band, put your wafter in, and you're good to go. You're good to start fishing. Now this I find can be a very sort of difficult topic, and that is pellets, or micras as some people like to call them. So what I'll do, I'll literally get my micras, tip them in a little tub like this, get some water, pour some water just so it's covering the micras, and then I'll leave them to soak. In sort of summer conditions like this, I'll leave them to soak for 2 minutes 20 seconds, and then once I've let them soak for 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I drain them off and then just leave them to dry while I'm setting things up like my rod. It's very important that as soon as you get to the bank and choose your peg, that you literally prepare your micras straight away. That way, let's say you don't prepare your micras, you get your rod set up and everything, then you've got to wait for your micras to dry out. So it's not worth it. Get your micras prepared first, and then you can be leaving them to dry out. Obviously in this sort of weather they'll dry out pretty quickly, but in my advice and opinion, I would let the micras dry out, and then you can start, you know, putting your rod together, putting your hook lengths on and different things. What you're looking for is, if I can pull this sleeve out, you're looking for the rubber being even. Let's say you've got that rubber more of a one end than the other, your hook length could fall off, or vice versa. If you have that rubber too far that way, this main line could come off. So just make sure that that rubber on the method is bang smack in the middle, so no hook lengths or line can come off. And that is pretty much it. You're ready to go. Now fishing it, I always like to just slot the bait in first. There's a little notch in these Drennan ones I like to put the bait in, and then all I do, put some micros in, give them a little pat down with my thumb. And it's very important that your micros are prepared to perfection when fishing the method, because they can be a little bit awkward. And then there you go, you've got a nice little parcel of bait. And also what you can do, you can put some more in and you can double pack them. I've never really done this, I don't know how it'll work, but it's a very good idea. Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain and you really have to give them a squeeze. But there you go, that is a double packed method feeder. It looks kind of huge. And we're going to give it a cast out, and hopefully we can get a nice fish. I know there's some big fish in this area, so fingers crossed we can get some. Now, something I do want to mention, again, if you are a beginner and you are doing this, you want to leave a nice bit of line out so you can cast it. Now, this cast really is not that big of a cast. I'm just going to do a nice long underarm cast to the middle of that island, get it to good arm, and make sure you're always sinking your line. Just while we hopefully wait and pray that that tip goes around, something I did want to mention that I do find is very important is with method feeder you can either fish it two ways. You can either watch the quiver tip, and essentially what happens when you get a bite, it'll bend right round, and it is pretty fun and it's very enjoyable when that rod bends round. Or you've got the other option, like me and what I always do, where if you're a bit lazy and you just want to enjoy the scenery, watch the scenery, you can put it on an alarm. Now, alarms can be pricey, you can get some cheap alarms, but for the sakes of this video, I'm going to keep it very simple and say, I think as a beginner it's easier just to watch that quiver tip and wait for it to arc round, and that's when you strike into it, and that's when hopefully you will have a nice fish on the end of it. One thing I will say, a lot of chairs come with feeder arms, so they'll come with the different attachments, and you're always looking to face your feeder arm pointing down to the water. You always want the tip as low to the water as what you can get it, especially if there's a tow on the lake. Nice little nearly fully scaled mirror. This is why the method feeder is killer, everyone, because you can get lovely fish like this. I'm going to get him back because I don't want him out too long with the sun, but absolute gorgeous fish. So I'm going to try my best to show you what in frame, what I'm talking about. So when you tighten up to it, you want to have a bend like that in the quiver tip. So then if the fish comes towards you, it'll come back viciously like that. So I'm doing with this with my hand, but I'm hoping you'll get the point. So tighten up to it, like if a fish comes back at you, it'll drop back. Now if you have a nice little bend in the rod, when it does that, that is when you want to strike. Sometimes you can get little twitches like that, that's liners, but then when it bends round like that, that is when you want to strike and that you've got the fish on. So yeah, I hope that explained it pretty good. Another thing to worth note is make sure your hook length line is sat at the bottom of the feeder. That is very important, mainly just for presentation, because you don't want it sort of, up the top of the feeder. And then all I'm going to do is underarm cast it. So I'm going to let some nice line, get some momentum going, and then I'm literally just going to cast it right to the, try and not get that tree. That were a bit daunting. And then always take your time in sinking your line. And always as well, another good thing is when you do cast it, try to feather it down. And what I mean by this, I'm kind of using a bit of fish terminology, but as the feeder's about to hit the water, stop the line with your finger and it should make a nice little plop. It is difficult to get it perfect all the time, but most of the time through practice you can get the way. It doesn't make too much of a difference, I've found in my experience. A lot of people swear by it and say it does. However, I think it's a bit of a half and half situation for me. So this is going to be a really, really good mirror when it grows up. It's nice and chunky, it's got a good belly on it, and absolute stunning fish here at Ledger Lakes. They've got like a nice grey, silvery tinge to them, and really gorgeous fish. So yeah, again, very, very nice mirror. There's nothing we catching fish like that, especially with how difficult the conditions have been. This is a great method. We've not been fishing long in this peg today. It has been a bit busy, so I've been kind of dotting around the lake, and this is the only real proper fishing we've done, and we've had about 3 or 4 now, so it's a great method. And another good thing as well, it's very easy to set up for beginners. Very simple. It doesn't take much knowledge in that, as long as you know how to do the knots and the different stuff. Again, I will have videos coming out on how to do knots if you want to see them, because it's always important to know how you do your knots, but this is the most simplest way I think of doing it. Again, there's different ways of attaching method feeders on. There's no wrong or right way, it's what you prefer, it's what you have confidence in. This is the way I do it, and like I say, hopefully it gives you a bit better knowledge on how to fish and set up the method feeder, because it's a great tactic. So get out while the weather's like this and try this tactic. That is pretty much it for this video. Get subscribed to my channel, doesn't cost you a penny. Share this video around, post your comments down below if you do method feeder fishing and how you fish it, and if you're fishing in this glorious weather, have a good one.